Stop forcing yourself to study for hours on end. You've been lied to about what it takes to succeed, and that 10-hour library session isn't just inefficient, it's actively hurting your grades. The idea that you have to power through is a myth that's sabotaging your brain's ability to learn.
It's a lie so big and so deeply baked into our culture that you've probably never thought to question it. To get the best grades, you have to lock yourself in a room, chug caffeine, and just grind for hours. You've been taught to believe that pushing through the exhaustion, the mental fog, the stinging eyes, is a badge of honor for a dedicated student.
But what if I told you that strategy is actively making it harder for your brain to remember things? The real secret to retaining information and dodging that soul-crushing burnout isn't about more hours. It's about understanding your brain's natural rhythm. In this video, I'm going to show you the science of your brain's focus cycle and how you can use it to study smarter, not harder.
1. The burnout deception. Come on, let's be honest. You've been there. It's 11 p.m. the night before a huge exam. You've been staring at the same page for what feels like an eternity. Your eyes are glazing over, you've reread the same paragraph 4 times, and absolutely nothing is sticking. You can feel that panic starting to bubble up. So, what do? You grab another energy drink and tell yourself to just focus, to push harder.
This is the hustle culture approach to studying. And spoiler alert, it's a scam. It's built on the backward idea that more time automatically equals better results. We see people bragging about all-nighters or 10-hour study marathons, but that's like trying to sprint a marathon. Sure, you might have a fast start, but you are going to crash, and you're going to crash hard. Pushing past your brain's natural limits leads to diminishing returns, where every extra minute of work gives you less and less understanding. You get more frustrated, you make more mistakes, and you end up feeling completely fried. It's a vicious cycle where inefficient work leads to more stress, which then leads to even less effective work. You're not just tired, you're actively fighting your own biology.
2. The science of your brain's internal clock. So, what is this biological limit I'm talking about? It's governed by something called ultradian rhythms. You've probably heard of circadian rhythms. That's our 24-hour biological clock that tells us when to feel sleepy and when to wake up. Well, ultradian rhythms are similar, but they're much shorter, cycling many times throughout the day. Pioneering sleep researcher Nathaniel Kleitman first discovered these cycles, finding that our brains tend to operate in patterns of roughly 90 to 120 minutes. Within this window, your brain shifts from a state of high alertness and peak focus to a state where it needs to downshift and recover. This isn't just a feeling, it's a real, measurable biological process. After about 90 minutes of intense focus, your brain's cognitive resources start to run low. Think of it like a fuel gauge.
Imagine your brain's focus is a battery. When you start a task, you're at 100%. For the next hour and a half or so, you're in the zone, running at peak capacity. But as you approach that 90-minute mark, that battery starts flashing red. This is when you start to fidget, yawn, lose your train of thought, or reread the same sentence over and over. These are not signs of weakness or a lack of discipline. They are biological signals telling you it's time for a pit stop.
And this isn't some new productivity hack. It seems to be hardwired into our biology. The same basic 90-minute cycles even govern our sleep, moving us through different stages. Anecdotal research on elite performers, from concert violinists to athletes, shows a similar pattern. They don't practice for 8 hours straight. They engage in intense, focused sessions of about 90 minutes, followed by a deliberate rest period. They get that real growth and mastery happen not just during the work, but during the recovery. 3. The 90-20 framework, your new secret weapon. This brings us to a practical way to use this knowledge, the 90-20 framework. The idea is incredibly simple. Work with intense, single-minded focus for about 90 minutes, then take a complete 20-minute break.
Now, this isn't a magical ratio etched in stone, but it's a powerful framework that aligns with your brain's natural rhythm. The 90 minutes of focus capitalizes on your peak energy cycle, and the 20-minute break gives your brain the time it needs to recharge for the next round.
When you start working this way, the benefits are huge. First, your focus gets way better. When your brain knows it only has to go hard for a set amount of time, it's much easier to ignore distractions and drop into that state of flow. Second, your productivity can skyrocket. You get more done at a higher quality in less time. And maybe most importantly, you prevent burnout before it even starts. By making rest a non-negotiable part of your workflow, you stop the cycle of mental exhaustion. Breaks are no longer a reward you get for finishing. They are a crucial part of the process itself. This leads to less stress and a much healthier, more sustainable way to learn and work.
Before I break down the step-by-step playbook for you to try the 90-20 framework, if you're finding this valuable, do me a quick favor and hit that subscribe button. My goal is to bring you science-backed strategies to help you get ahead without burning out. And subscribing is the best way to make sure you don't miss what's next. 4. The 5-step playbook to master your focus cycles. Ready to put this into action? It's not complicated, but it does take intention. Here is your 5-step playbook to mastering your focus cycles.
Step 1, plan your session. Before you even think about starting a timer, you need to know exactly what you're working on. Vague goals like study biology are the enemy of focus. Get specific. Review chapters 5 and 6 and create flashcards for key terms. When you define your task, you don't waste precious mental energy figuring out what to do next. Pro tip, tackle your most challenging task in your first block when your energy is likely highest.
Step 2. Create a distraction-free fortress. Your environment dictates your focus. For these 90 minutes, you have to be ruthless about distractions. I mean, your phone goes on silent and out of sight, not just flipped over on the desk. Close all the unrelated tabs on your computer. Use a website blocker if you need to. Let your roommates or family know you're entering a focus block and can't be disturbed. For the next 90 minutes, this space is sacred.
Step 3, start the unforgiving timer. This is where you commit. Set a timer for 90 minutes and hit start. The second that timer begins, you begin your work. No easing into it, no one last check of Instagram. You are singularly focused on your chosen task until that timer goes off. And please, do not multitask. Multitasking is a myth. You're just rapidly switching your attention, which kills your productivity and drains your mental battery even faster.
Step 4. Master the art of the true break. When that 90-minute timer dings, you stop. Seriously, I don't care if you're mid-sentence. You stop. Now, set another timer for 20 minutes. This is your recovery period, and what you do here is just as important as the focused work. A true break means active recovery, not passive consumption. Scrolling through TikTok is not a break. You're just feeding your brain more information and preventing it from recharging. Instead, get away from your desk. Stand up, stretch, walk around, or get some fresh air. Hydrate with a glass of water. Do some light physical activity. Meditate, or just sit quietly and let your mind wander. The goal is to do something that isn't mentally taxing and, ideally, gets you away from a screen. This lets your brain process and store what you just learned.
Step 5. Reflect and find your rhythm. The 90-20 framework is a starting point, not a religion. While 90 minutes is a common cycle length, your personal rhythm might be a little different. Maybe you find your focus consistently drops off after 75 minutes. Awesome! Adjust your work clock to 75 minutes and take a 15-minute break. The key is to listen to your body. pay attention to those fatigue signals. The yawning, the fidgeting, the sudden urge to check your phone, those are your cues. Check your energy for a few days to find your own unique pattern and adjust the timers to match. Consistency is way more important than sticking to a rigid number.
The common traps and how to sidestep them. As you start trying this, you're probably going to run into a few common traps. First is the trap of ignoring the break alarm. You're in the zone, the timer goes off, and the urge to say just 5 more minutes is huge. Don't do it. Honoring the break is non-negotiable. Pushing through is exactly what got you into the burnout cycle in the first place. Trust the process. Your brain needs that pit stop to come back even stronger.
The second trap is the fake break. Like we talked about, checking your phone or answering a few emails is not a real break. Your brain is still chugging away, and you're not getting that cognitive rest you need. Be intentional. Have a short list of real break activities ready to go, like stretching, walking, or just listening to a song.
Finally, there's the trap of inconsistency. Using this method once or twice is fine, but turning it into a habit is where the real magic happens. The more you practice working in these cycles, the more your brain adapts. It will get easier to drop into deep focus when the timer starts and easier to switch off when it's time to rest. Commit to it for at least a week and just notice the difference.
So let's recap the old broken way. Studying for endless hours, pushing through fatigue, and ending up burnt out with results that are just meh. The new science-backed way, working in focused blocks that align with your brain's natural biology, and taking intentional breaks to recharge. This simple shift can completely change your ability to focus, slash your stress levels, and help you remember more than you ever thought possible. You'll get more high-quality work done in less time, which frees you up to actually have a life outside of your textbooks. So here is my challenge to you. Just try it for 1 week. Schedule your study sessions using the 90-20 framework. Set your timers, kill the distractions, and take real breaks. See how you feel. Notice the change in your focus, your energy, and your results. You have the power to stop the cycle of burnout and start working with your brain, not against it. Now, I want to hear from you. What's your single biggest struggle when it comes to focusing? Let me know in the comments below. Let's help each other out. And if this video is helpful, make sure to subscribe for more strategies to help you ace your exams and get your time back. You've got this.